Warm Rotaract greetings everyone. This is Rotaractor Mehek Kankaria, Community Service Director for the year 21-22. I welcome you all to the 8th episode of Inspiring Icon Talks with Tanushkaa Nagpal. She is a Mumbai-based photographer who is passionate about making people feel at home in their bodies. Her work is heavily concentrated on black and white images and is very woman-centric. She is also the founder of the NARS Collective, an Instagram page which is slowly based on spreading body positivity. So I welcome you, Tanushka.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so beginning with the first question, what inspired you to start your page, the NARS Collective?
Uh, so it's a weird story. This was the day right after my birthday, and I had this like really strong urge that I need to do something about it. Now, for anyone who's known me personally, has always known me to be like very uplifting and like to make them feel better about their bodies and stuff, and make them feel more comfortable. So I just had this one idea, and then I reached out to other people who I know would be on the same page, and we worked on it for 6 months. Like, we used to have conversations every single week. That was like prime lockdown, like first lockdown. And like to understand and talk to each other more about it, so we all know that we're on the same page, and this is one way to move forward. And knowing that each and every member along with me thinks the same way, I think that was one of the key factors in the that helped start NARS the way that it did. So that is what inspired. It was like, I think, a collective of women around me, which is why it was called the NARS Collective.
Okay, so did you face any criticism or challenges for spreading awareness about body positivity through your photography or through your page?
Uh, I think social media itself is a very tricky place to be in, because there are people who understand what you're trying to say, and then there are people who don't. So I think criticism, irrespective of whether it's photography or the page itself, um, there's always going to be those people who don't understand you. But you just have to like believe in what you believe, and know that you're the one who's playing a good game, and keep it going. Like, that's all. Like, there were a lot of criticism, and especially like when it comes to images and then women, and like whether it's scantily clad clothes and stuff like that, where it starts irking women, because at the end of it we come from a very brown society.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that just stayed persistent. And yeah, but I don't think it was that tough, because we were way more passionate about it, that the criticism didn't really hit us as hard. Like, we used to find it really stupid.
Okay, so there's always a stage in everyone's life, like where they feel so negative or like giving up on things. So has that ever stage come in your life, and how did you come over it?
uh, okay, it's this stage that we're talking about here, about feeling negative. It is not one particular stage in your life where you'll just be like, okay, maybe when I was in my teens, I used to feel really bad about myself, and suddenly now that I'm in my 20s, I'm going to stop feeling it. It's a feeling that stays with you. And that is why when I say that we don't like to call it body positivity, we just like to call it body image. Because like we've spoken on our page, body image can be of three types. There's negative body image, positive body image, and neutral body image. Now, this is just my personal opinion, where I feel that having like a very neutral approach to your body, like my body, has really helped me. Because I know, like, because that is the time when when I started accepting that I'm going to have bad days, I'm going to have good days, and irrespective, it's just going to be me. So even like when I have like really negative days, it doesn't really, like, it's not, it can be a month, a week phase, a month phase, two, 2, 3 months. It can go on for such a long period of time, or even years for that matter. Like, that is like mostly when you're in your teens, you end up feeling that. And then I think as you grow up and you tend to mature, you understand that you don't have to be a certain way, or in one certain phase in your life where you feel a certain way about your body. Like, that's just what I think. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So being fat or curvy is still considered as a crime in India. People body shame others for being fat or for even being skinny. So what do you have to say about like the people who bully others?
I think they come from an insecure place themselves. And if not, sometimes just the confidence someone can have irks people, like if someone's curvy and they're more comfortable showing their skin, you're suddenly going to be like, they use that, these people start slut shaming them. Or if you're too skinny and you can wear crop tops and you can pull it off, and then people will be like, why you so scantily clothed. So I think the people who are trying to bully others have some stuff to deal with themselves first, and maybe that's just their perspective. And sometimes, like, we're born in a very closed off society over here, like like typical brown households where we're brought up with a certain ideology and a certain way to be. And to break off that, to unlearn all of those things and then get understand new perspectives is like something that takes a lot of time. So I don't even blame the bullies. Like, at one point I can understand where they're coming from, but at the same time it's also like drawing boundaries of like, okay, now I can understand where you're coming from, but now they're just speaking bullshit and being rude. So I think
Yeah.
it, like, when you approach them, like, there's a certain level of understanding, but there's also a certain level of like where you like need to stand up for yourself. So I just think these people need to love themselves a little more.
Yeah. Okay. So
Unlearn
in
whatever
terms of
society taught you.
in terms of body image awareness, what do you think is the biggest challenge we are facing currently?
I would say, oh, see, that's the thing. If you've come across the page, like the NARS Collective, you see that we stopped posting on social media a while back. In the sense that, even like, everybody is on Instagram trying to say that whatever is on Instagram is not real. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're on social media telling other people that social media is not real. So at some point, I just felt like that was very hypocritical. So I was just like, uh, there are more real ways to deal with it. Like something like this, where people might watch it, it's not heavily influenced by what others are going to see. And it can be one on one, where people, like, I would say, explore other platforms as such.
Yeah.
But that has been one very crucial thing about how to approach people, because I come from a place where influencing people in real life was my goal. And I thought, like, social media would be the way for it, but it actually isn't. So I'm still maneuvering about how to go about it. But yeah, that's been a
Yeah.
challenge.
Okay, so people still confuse being body positive with being slim or skinny. So what do you have to say about that?
Educate yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, if people still think that they're just being ignorant, there is, and that happens with a lot of us, that when we go to a doctor, and especially if you're like plus sized, and you go to them with any problem that you have, like a gynec or any other thing, their first thing is lose weight. And the thing is, losing weight is not going to make me more body positive, more fit, more healthy. They they mistake body positive and body image for being fit and healthy, which are two very different things. A fat
Yeah.
person can be as fit, a very skinny person can be as fit as what the society would consider like normal, you know. So I think that's one thing. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
people can be whatever size, and the only thing that really matters is like keeping it healthy and actually looking after yourself and loving yourself enough to do the bare minimum to look after yourself.
Yeah. Okay, so I've been through your photographs and your page, and you always seem so positive. So, like, how are you so positive? Like, what motivates you every day to be like this? Because it's very difficult to be positive every day.
Again, misconceptions of social media. I am not positive
Yeah,
every day. I don't post every day. Even if you see on my photography account, I do not. Um, there are like, I'll be very honest. I've had a very bad past like month, I guess, or maybe 2 months. I don't know at this point. And it's so like right now I understand that I'm in a shitty place, but at the same time, I don't hate myself. I know that whatever I'm feeling is temporary and will pass, and I will eventually get to a place where I start feeling confident again in what I'm wearing, how I'm talking, how I'm looking. Until then, you do stupid things like color your hair to feel something that feel something. So that's what I'm saying, that it's not necessary to be positive every single day. It is very much important to have like negative days and appreciate the negative days. Let the feeling sit with you, pass with you, understand why that's happening, and like just deal with it one day at a time. And you'll eventually get there where you're more accepting that okay, this is what I'm feeling, it's valid, and it's going to pass, and we'll get back to sunflowery days soon enough.
yeah. Okay, so for my last question, is there any advice you would like to give to our audience?
I don't think I'm like very qualified to give advice, but I would like to say that it's never too late to start, even like it's not too late to even start changing your perspective about like towards your body. You can be a 35, 40-year-old woman who struggled all her life, and now you may realize that okay, maybe it doesn't have to be this way. So it's never too early or too late to get to know yourself better. And the more you get to know yourself and the way you think, the way you are, the way you like to dress, like your confidence automatically goes in that direction. And in the end, don't be too hard on yourself. Like, just don't. Everybody has, like I said, repeating. There are good days, bad days, neutral days, bad phases, good phases, confident phases, shitty phases. You want to look like a sloth, you want to dress sexy, you want to look like a hobo, you want to dress slutty. These are just phases that make up life. So to think in like extremes is not going to help your case because you're always going to be hard on yourself. So yeah, just enjoy, man.
Yeah, it was really great
It's one
interviewing
word.
you. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I
It was
like
indeed a great It was indeed a great session with you. And before ending today's session, I would really like to express my gratitude towards you. Thank you so much for joining in and giving us your precious time. I wish you best for your future and keep on doing the good work.
thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.